Hey, this is Elliot. I'm the owner of Arkansas Insurance Advisors. So if I'm sending you this video, it's because I want to talk about your insurance coverage and your car insurance. We have a lot of people that come to us, they've never been properly advised, and they don't have the right coverage in what we think would be adequate enough for most situations. So I want to go through real quick what limits of coverage we typically recommend. This is not for every case, but for most, and also the reasons why. Okay, so first off, when I set up my car insurance policy, if I ever cause a wreck where that I'm at fault and I injure somebody or I damage any type of property from a vehicle to a building to any of that nature, if I do not have enough coverage, I'm personally liable for the rest. So let's say I have $50,000 in coverage, I cause a wreck that's got $65,000 in damage, then the other party has the right to sue me for the difference of $15,000. That also could be, what if I was in a wreck that there was med flight, there were huge medical bills, it was outrageous, and then they come after serious assets for me. So attorneys on the other side of that, they can come after any of your assets, your bank accounts, checking accounts, retirement accounts, any of your assets. Also, if you don't have a lot of money to come after, some people take the perspective of, well, but what if I don't have anything? If you're gainfully employed, let's say you're educated with a good job, going to have a good job for a long time, they can also come after future income. So this could be enormous if the worst case situation happened. Obviously, the law of insurance is this won't happen to most people, but what if it happened to you? So I want to go through real quick what the coverages available are and then where we think you probably need to be. So first off, I've got this that I made up here. This right here represents the state's minimum limits of insurance. So bodily injury, 25,000, 50,000, and then property damage of 25. We refer to this as 25, 50, 25. So I'm going to refer to that going forward, 25, 50, 25. So this would be $25,000 in coverage for medical per person in a wreck. Okay, so a wreck that you're at fault of, 25,000 maximum coverage. 50,000 for a total accident. So if there's a situation where there's 4 or 5 people in the car, 50,000 has to be split up to cover everyone involved. And then property damage, 25,000, okay? So it's 25, 50, 25. Here's how this works. The one that comes to my mind first would be the property damage of $25,000. There's almost no cars on a car dealership that you can buy today that are less than $25,000. So if you have $25,000 in property damage coverage and you hit a Tahoe that's worth $55,000 that was new off the lot, you're now going to be out of pocket for $30,000. So your insurance company will pay up to $25,000 and then they're done. And then you are responsible for any difference. Medical bills, the $25,000 and the $50,000. What if you call someone that's got to be in ICU, they've got to have surgery, maybe they're out of work and they want to sue you for their loss of wages? What if this person was even a surgeon or somebody of that nature that had a very high level of income? These bills can add up very, very quickly, okay? So I'm going to show you the different coverages available. This is not everything, but this is the most common, okay? So obviously we covered first the 25, 50, 25, right? The next amount of coverage would go to 50, 100, 50. Okay, this is better. Still not enough for a lot of situations like 50,000. There's a lot of cars that are not even considered luxury vehicles that are more than 50,000. A nice pickup today is worth more than 50,000. I know it's crazy, but it's what it is, right? Okay, so next limit of coverage, 100, 300, 100. Okay, so now we've gone from the state minimum of 50,000 for a total accident up to 300. Substantial difference here, right? And then 250, 500, 250. You can gain more. You can also take out an umbrella policy. Just call us. We'll tell you more about that. We recommend that most of our clients typically should be at 100, 300, 100. This is going to cover most situations. It is by far not guaranteed to cover everything, but it's much more than the state minimum at 25, 50, 25. Here's another reason to look at the higher coverages. Whether someone's doing business with us or not, I always encourage them at least to ask their agent, what would the cost difference be? Make an educated decision on, should I keep the lowest limits of coverage, or is it feasible for me to raise to the next ones? What if this is $3, $4, $5 more a month? Okay. Now last, it's not uncommon for us to see that the higher limits of coverage, say the 100, 300, 100, to be less expensive than 25, 50, or even 50, 100. I literally quoted this today for a gentleman to go from 25, 50 to 100, 300, the price reduced, okay? So first, as an agency, we do not offer 25, 50. We do not have any clients with this level of coverage. We don't approve of it. We don't offer this, okay? There's a lot of companies out there, the online companies, that you can get anything you want. But as the name of our agency says, Arkansas Insurance Advisors, our job is to advise you. And our advice is that's not sufficient. We're not real comfortable with 50, 100, but at least it's better. We prefer 100, 300. We love to see our clients even take more than that because we don't want the risk to be on our clients for any common type situation. Of course, there's a level of insurance, there's a level of coverage that we have to stop at some point. We always take risk at some point, but we have to figure out what is a reasonable risk. As far as the 100, 300, 100 being less expensive, here's why. If I take an individual that is a little more conservative, they're a little more cautious when they look at their insurance, and they're willing to take the higher limit of coverage so that they don't have that risk, so that they can reduce the exposure. That's probably a person that's also, statistically, the insurance companies have found that's a person that's probably a little less likely to get in an accident because they are a little more conservative. They are a little more cautious. They're a little more aware of what's going on. So take a second to figure out if you have the limits of coverage of 25, 50, I strongly encourage you pay a difference even if it does cost more. $5, $10, $20 a month, whatever that may be, clearly worth it. Because if you have a claim and you don't have enough coverage, you're in a bad spot. But at least find out the numbers so that you can make an educated decision whether or not it makes sense to carry the higher limits of coverage, or do you remain at where you're at. Thanks for letting us check out your insurance. Thanks for taking time to watch the video. We'll be circling back soon with all of your quotes, and we'll go through everything in more detail then. Thanks so much.